Hi everybody, we're going to talk notes from the 7th grade Common Core looking for slope. You definitely need to make sure that you understand the definition for slope, and slope is the change between any set of ordered pairs on a line, and it really refers to the steepness of a line. Anytime you find slope, you can pick any 2 points on the line because as long as it's straight, the slope will be consistent. When we're finding slope on a line, we're going to use the formula that it's rise over run. Rise refers to the change in y, so make sure you complete that change in y over the change in x values. So on my graph, x is my run, y is my rise. So in my first set of ordered pairs that I'm going to be comparing in example 1, I am looking at moving from 0 and heading up to 4. So my rise is 4. If I have it 0 and I move to 1, 2, 3, my run is 3, which is indicated in a slope format of 4 over 3. I do the same thing with my next example. I am at the ordered pair and I'm far down at -2, and this one is up at 1. So I was at a -2 and I go up 1, 2, 3, and so my rise ends up being a 3. I'm at a -2 here and I'm going all the way to a 4. So 2 plus my 4 ends up being a run of 6. So my rise is 3 and my run is 6, which equals a slope of 1/2. Please be familiar with when I'm looking at my y values, that's the rise. If I'm looking at my x values, that's the run. Y values, my rise, x values, my run. When it asks us to interpret slope, we're actually going ahead and looking at the slope and using words to describe it. It indicates that my slope is 20 over 4, which simplifies to 5 over 1. I need to use units to describe what that's talking about. 5 represents the dollar amount, and 1 represents the hours. So I write a phrase or a sentence describing what that's meaning. And that means that I make, or whoever it is, I make $5 every 1 hour. So please make sure you understand that when you're interpreting slope, we're talking about actually using the labels. In my last example, I'm going to have to create a graph in order to use these ordered pairs. X is represented by minutes, and Y is represented by words. In minutes, I'm going to go ahead and label my x-axis 1 through 7. Because the Y goes up by so many, I'm just going to label it by 100. And then I graph those points. I'm going to go ahead and kind of estimate where they are because I'm going to use the actual numbers in order to do my adding and subtracting. I have 3, 120, or 3, 135. I have 5, 225, and I have 7, 315. So take a look at those how I graph those. There is a straight line, right? So I'm going to do this. Now I need to go ahead and find the rise and the run. I can pick any of the ordered pairs and compare them. This one, I'm going to pick the first 2. There's a difference between 135 and 225. That difference has a rise of 90. The run is between 3 and 5. That has a rise of 2. Therefore, my slope is 90 over 2. Well, that was a bad 2. And so my slope equals 45. All right, so let's take a look. You're expected to know the definition of a slope. You're expected to know rise over run, which is the same as change in y over change of x. You're expected to look at a graph and be able to tell me the rise and run. You're also supposed to interpret the slope by using vocabulary that is used in the graphs, such as units. And then you're supposed to find a slope of a table, and you graph it, and then do the same thing that you did in number 1 and 2. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.